American Kennel Club judge, dog show judge, licensed. And I think what would help you, okay, because you're not able to read the body language of the dog, and some dogs don't project proper body language. Okay, the dog actually could be quite friendly, but he's smelling the adrenaline. Dogs have a tremendous sense of smell. He's smelling the adrenaline that you're emitting because of your fear. All right. What I would recommend that you do is seek out a professional dog trainer and ask if you can come and audit some of their classes. Most of them will allow you to go for free. I have a good friend who trains many, many, many dogs. Her name is Kathy Santo. She trained Martha Stewart's dogs, and we call them the late night show dogs. Some of the late night celebrities have dogs that I've bred. So if you go to those classes, they will help you identify to see if you really could. You could very definitely be threatened. I'm not saying that you're not, but at this point you're reacting to something that you don't understand, and perhaps it would be a big help to you, or at least give you some peace of mind, to be able to talk to somebody and understand. And I'll give you her contact information if you'd like. Okay, and I'm sure if you can use my name, I'm sure that you can go and audit and talk to her, and she might be able to help you with that. But you have to understand, almost all dogs project aggression. There's an narrowing of the eyes. The tail moves a different way. They wag the very bottom of the tail. They don't wag the big wag, the hi, I'm so happy to see you wag. They put the ears back. There's a whole lot of body behaviors generally before a dog attacks. There's one or two breeds that does not occur with. But it might help you a bit, and it might help you understand as well what's going on.
In my case, it may not work this way.
What kind of a dog is it?
It's a big dog. I don't know
The breed?
I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it barks, and I can even as a little dog, I start to react to
Well, a little one. Actually, the little dog's more apt to bite you. But but it's something you may want to think about. To help you get through that. I understand that.
One of the other things I think is great advice. One of the other things you ought to do is talk to the neighbors and say, listen, I'm frightening your dog. Can you help me? Can you help me so this dog can get to know me? So that when you walk out to your mailbox or whatever, you feel comfortable. Because some dogs, they are intimidating by their size and everything about them, but they're pretty nice animals. So I think you work with your neighbor as well, and not, be combative or whatever. But say, listen, I truly am frightened of your dog. Can you help me? And I bet he will, or she will. Okay. Okay. Very good. Good. Thank you for coming. Yes.
Robert Smith, Goshen. Can the board just clarify about the payment for the fence around the park? I thought that was a 50-50 deal when it came to parks.
It is. We have money in what they call Fund A, which is town. We tax in two groups. We tax for B, which is town only, and we tax all citizens for Fund A, village and town. So we have some funds in the Fund A, which has come from the village and the town, and that's what we're going to spend on that $28,000.
All right, so it's a co-mixed fund.
Yes, it's a co-mixed fund. In fact, we bought the town bought the Salesian Park back in 2003 or 4, I guess it was, and continues to pay for it. Okay? And yet the maintenance on it was done, the village did their part and we did our part. So it's just how the funds, where the money comes the same way. I mean, we tax the village and the town. That's where that money comes from.
All right, just one other thing from the last meeting. The board was going to consider lowering some of the fees, the building permits for Amy's Kitchen.
That's correct.
I would advise against that. Well, let me say,
It was Science of the Soul, wasn't Amy's. It was, but
it's
okay,
Amy's
but
Kitchen.
we're studying this. Neil and Rick are looking at this, And what it is some buildings do not require the amount of inspection that others do. And it's not just that, it could be a barn for somebody or whatever. So we can put in there different categories. That's what we're trying to do.
Right, I understand that, but
Okay.
all of a sudden, they come for one permit, and we're studying, why, you say a barn, why didn't we study this before? Why wasn't a barn, didn't anybody else say, gee, it's only a barn, you don't have to come for 3 inches? I mean, I was gonna build the shed,
Okay.
and I looked at the permit fee, and I said, I'm not paying the town that fee, I'd rather do without it.
Right.
But, you know, one of the reasons we brought these corporations here was to lighten the load on the rest of us. So by this fee being this high for them, maybe he doesn't have to go out that often. Maybe another building, you don't make out so well. He has to go out 7 or 8 times.
Right.
So everything comes out in a wash. And
This
this
could be
being the
looked at.
very beginning of all of this, I would say if corporations see that all they have to do is bitch a little, they'll be in here wanting lower fees for everything. There's gonna be a lot of specialty buildings going on at Legoland, and they're gonna give you the same hooey. And,
You know, a lot of people come in and do this anyway. I don't want to pay a roof, for putting a roof on your
Right.
house, you got, I mean, so this is nothing new.
right, but you don't change the fees every time
No,
somebody
what we-
comes in.
What we've done, though, we've tried to zero in on how much time and energy and money does it really cost. We try not to make money on building permits,
Well,
and,
they
we-
should
we-
pay for themselves, they should.
that's exactly right, we should pay.
But then
for
you
it.
have to go back to my argument. Maybe you won't go out enough
Okay.
for this to justify the fee.
Okay,
But maybe on a different building of a similar type, you'll go out the extra times. You know, instead of
Sure.
10 times, you'll have to go out 15 times. So that's why the fees are where they are.
okay.
And to me, it just looks bad.
Well, I
As
have
soon
two
as
people-
someone comes in and says, I don't like this fee,
Mhm.
and it's one of the big guys coming to town, to me, it just doesn't look good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, you're quite welcome.
Can I address
Yeah,
that
sure.
too? So if you are going to consider doing this, it should be a change in the zoning, and you should make it so that any large building that doesn't have walls on the inside should be priced at a lower amount. Will's Way should get a discount for all you charge them like they were a home. And, you're really gonna open up, oh, wait a second, you did that already. You're gonna open up Pandora's box by specialty spot zoning or specialties for large corporations. So I'm highly suggesting that you do not do that. Thank you.
Fine. Where we're going is Neil, who's got 20-plus years as building inspector, okay? He's got a feel for what he does, and this will be a simple item. It may be that there's a category 1, 2, 3 or something. If they do anything, they've got to tell the board, I'm not a building inspector, nor any of us.
Yep.
So, these learned people, I'd like them to look at it and see what it's all about. Okay. All righty? Yes, Nick?
Nick Allen, at a couple of meetings, just 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it was mentioned that these builders can habitually break their promises to the town as to what they're gonna do. Legoland, for one, just dumping water all over the place. And the town has no bite. There's nothing in the code that says that you can pull their permits. And when it was being talked about, Rick is over there shaking his head. He's kind of agreeing that something should be done about this. There should be something in the code that if a builder comes in and they want to have parties up on top of the hill, when you've told them not to have parties, you can't do anything. They can have a party up there. You can't say, okay, give us your permit back. Legoland goes and pollutes your streams. You can't say, give us your permit back. They'll pay a fine. $250,000 to Legoland is zero. I mean, it's like my granddaughter has a piggy bank full of quarters. If I tell her to give me a quarter, what is it? It's nothing. You have no bite, you can't do anything. And, you know, you're willing to rip somebody's house down because it's got a hole in the roof, but you're not doing anything to these corporations to make them toe the line. I can see now Legoland is starting to raise dust up there. That's gonna be the next problem. When the dirt starts drying out and they're gonna start moving that hill around, there's gonna be dust all over the place, and I'm gonna be calling Neil, and Neil's gonna be calling the DEC, or I'm gonna be calling the DEC. They're gonna find them some more money, they'll pay the fine, and then they'll go back to raising dust. So something's gotta be written into town code to give you some bite. And soon, I mean, you said you were thinking about it, but it's gotta be done soon. It can't be something that you're waiting to work on the whole code. Something has to be done now. And the 4 years up there, you think about it, it's gotta be done soon. Otherwise, there's gonna be dust, they're gonna do whatever the heck they want, they'll pay them a little fine, and they'll just go on their merry way. Thank you.
Neil?
Nick, please.
Nick.
Thank you. Several questions, comments really. On the issue with dust, they already are working on that, and there is already an issue, and they are spending water already today on the roads.
There was dust in the air today.
I'm not saying it's all right. I was up there today, and at least in some of the spots where I was, I saw them spending the water on the dirt.
But then, when you dig down a foot, the water's not there anymore. They're going in with shovels, they're not just sweeping
No,
it
I know,
down.
I'm aware of that. This is where they were spending water today that I noticed was really on the roadways where the dirt was on, or where they drive. Okay, yeah, okay. Second thing, just as an informational thing for the public, the town has already approved one solar farm. We set a public hearing tonight for 2 more. We have 2 more that have not even been addressed yet that are coming in. Just solar farms are blossoming, the good, bad, I'm not sure how you feel about it, but it's happening. So we're gonna see a lot more of them, I think. And the third thing, I was not at the Moon Council today, so I'm not sure what was said on my behalf. I will tell you that Jay Beaumont is the chairman of the Moon Council. Jay Beaumont is also on the planning board at Montgomery. I know that they are having a number of large projects come into there. But Jay Beaumont got in touch with me about a month or 2 ago, asking me if he can get over to Legoland site just to see what's working there, what's not working there. I did get him on the site. They met with some people over there and talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was not a glamorous sugarcoating of what's up there. It was a discussion of what is working and what wasn't working. So anyhow, I don't know what was said today, so I don't know if I accept that I said it or didn't accept it.
We would be very happy if the next time you met with Mr. Beaumont, that somebody else from the council would be present. We are members of the council.
Okay.
And it would be, it's, I learned a long time ago, you never go to a meeting with one person. You always bring a witness.
Yeah, in all honesty, the time I met with Jay Beaumont, there were 3 people there. All of them it was Montgomery made the trip over. So it was him from the planning board, it was their engineer, and it was their building inspector. So there were three of them there, but whatever. That's what happened. Okay.
Neil, I'd like to mention something too that we're talking about. Nick. Neil went out there Saturday and Sunday for the last 2 weeks, and when he finds something wrong, he shuts the job down and said, work on your stormwater management, this or that, to get to the point where it works. And so that's what he does. The DEC does the same thing. If they come in and they find things are not working, they'll shut them down. So that's been going on. They started then working on the MS for wastewater management, stormwater management. So that's in the law to allow them to do that. So Neil can go up there on a Saturday or a Sunday when they're working and say, excuse me guys, or gals, that water's going down here, it shouldn't be. Let's fix it. Now, I noticed that Neil was talking earlier today that they're building 2 more beyond what they've got, retention ponds. And so they're working on it. As a layperson, I don't know. I just go on what the professionals, Neil and the DEC, are saying.
But there is a difference between you going, shutting it down and actually pulling permits. I mean,
No, it's not that bad. I don't think I can pull permits. I
no,
do
you
go,
can't because it's not written in the town code.
right, so I do go there and I have shut the job down probably 5 or 10 times. They shut down for X number of days until, there is no set, you're gonna be shut down for 3 days, 4 days, whatever. It's shut down until they get everything back the way it's supposed to be. And then they're permitted to go ahead and start doing soil, what we call soil disturbance stuff. I had the same issue sometimes with Heritage Estates, in which case, at that point in time, they can still continue doing framing and that kind of thing, they just can't disturb the soil. So yes, that does happen. I'm out there more Saturdays than I would like to be, but nevertheless, I am out there sometimes on Saturdays, when I find the soil, the water running off dirty.
But wouldn't you like to have more bite and be able to pull a permit?
That's not for me to determine.
Opinion.
That-
You
I-
don't
I-
give your opinion.
He doesn't
Okay.
have an opinion.
In
You
all
can't have
honesty,
an opinion.
if you're talking about fines, the fines for the town are nothing.
No,
Uh,
it's enough.
The DEC has much bigger fines than I ever will have. So me taking them for fines is not going to make any impact at all.
Nick, it's not as simple as simply putting it in the code. Because when anybody gets a permit to go ahead and do something, the law considers that to be a property right. And so you can't just take